The first Iron Marines game is a very special game to me. It was one of my first real mobile gaming experiences, and I covered it on the channel back when I was mainly doing Command & Conquer Rivals content, long before Eve Echoes was even a thing. In today's video, I want to talk to you all about its sequel, Iron Marines Invasion, and how this takes everything that I loved about the first game and ramps it up into something truly spectacular. Something that I reckon a lot of you folks will enjoy too, because this is the kind of game that you can play alongside Eve Echoes. It's the kind of thing that isn't going to take a whole load of your time. It's an offline game, so it's perfect for car journeys or train journeys, or just for playing when Eve Echoes is down on maintenance. So, ahoy there folks, I'm Captain Benzie, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Iron Marines Invasion and why I absolutely adore these games. So, let's jump straight in on this one. Iron Marines is a real-time strategy game. Think kind of like StarCraft, but on a smaller scale. You move units around, you have missions to do, you choose who's going to attack what, and you build your base. It's made by the same people who make the Kingdom Rush tower defense games, and I like to refer to this as kind of a tower defense game in reverse. Whereas most tower defense games just have you building towers and upgrading them and hoping to survive wave after wave of enemies, in this one you are a lot more mobile. You're moving your heroes around, you're spawning in units, you do still have tower upgrading mechanics and so on and so forth, but it's a lot simpler and a lot more mobile and fun, and I just adore it for that. Now, Iron Marines is set in its own galaxy with some really cool sort of cartoon cutscenes that give you the story. The original Iron Marines had a pretty interesting enough story, pretty basic for the most part. It was split into 3 chapters that you would follow through, following the journey of the Iron Marines across various galactic conflicts. Iron Marines Invasion, on the other hand, is much more focused, laser focused in fact, on its own particular story as you move from planet to planet, following these events as they unfold on a galaxy-wide scale, and it is such a pretty galaxy. I mean, just look at the map of this thing. It's huge. I'm on a new save file here because I don't really want to, spoil too much of it, so I'm looking at some of the fairly early on missions. Before we jump into a mission though, let's talk about monetization, because I know that's a big topic in mobile gaming. It's something that a lot of people want to know about before they even consider downloading a game. First of all, Iron Marines is a premium game. It does require a minor purchase. I think it's about £3, so $3-4 to download and install. And honestly, I think it is well worth that on its own. There are in-app transactions as well, which bear talking about for a moment. First of all, the heroes. During the game, you will start off with 2 main heroes, in this case Ultra and Halford, both of whom have their own unique abilities that do different things and play completely differently to each other. You'll level these up as you go from mission to mission. A third one unlocks later on in the story. There are then some paid additional ones, and some of these are a little bit more expensive than I would have hoped. £7.49 for Cosmos, down to £3.09 for Bomet. These are interesting characters. Again, they are entirely optional. With just the 3 characters that you will unlock through the main story, you will have a ton of content to work through. You can then add these on later if you complete the game so heavily that you're like, I really want more of that. For the price of a cup of coffee, you can go through it again with a whole new hero. There are some units this time around that can be purchased as well and do cost a bit of additional real-world money for some of them. Other ones, like you can see here, unlocked at mission 16. These allow extra build variety in the missions. I don't really want to overload you with too much information, but just be aware that there's one that has freaking space ninja cats, one that has these really cool psionics, there's your basic humans. There are even gigantic frogs for everything as well. There's just a lot to unpack here, and so much kind of going on. Again, a lot of that unlocks just naturally through the story, but some of it does require purchases on top. The final way that you can spend additional money is using your arsenal. Now, ultimately, these are just abilities that you can use in missions, like dropping a quick turret onto the battlefield or giving like additional unit spawns. There's some ones like here dropping bombs onto the battlefield as well. These can be bought with the in-game currency, and you can spend real-world money buying more of that. I don't really get this one because the game is so much fun. This just kind of gives you I win win buttons. I guess some people like that, and hey, if they want to support more games like this, I'm all for it. I have never once bought any of these. I will happily buy, like, the Mega Hero bundle. I'm not going to do that right now, of course, on camera or anything, but I would happily buy all of the heroes, etc., to go through those because I know I love these games. But if you're not sure, you don't need to spend a penny other than the original asking price. Now, beyond this, you kind of follow planet to planet the different story as the game continues. I'm going to actually go and do one of these special missions, one of these like Black Ops missions that you can go back to. These unlock as you go on, are kind of like side quests. This means that there's not going to be too much story spoiler in this one, so I can showcase the gameplay. Really neat little animations. I just love how this has all come together. The original Iron Marines is really good, by the way. It is worth picking up if you spot it super cheap. It is a great fun game. I did a review on it a long time ago. It's a very dated video on this channel, so do be aware of that before you step in on it. But here we are. So the basic game is very simple. You've got your move, your camera, zoom in, zoom out, and then by dragging on a unit, you can move them around. At this point in the game as well, early on in a mission, you'll have these abilities to either summon in new units, and because I'm a big cat fan, we're going to bring in some of the cats straight away. I'm also going to build a turret to start killing some of these enemies here. Let's build a mortar. And that will do for now. Let's bring these guys a bit closer because, oh boy, everything's dying because I'm spending too much time talking, not enough time focusing on the battle at hand. Now, your hero as well, obviously you can just move around like this. I can also double tap and move everything in one go if I want. Units will never shoot while moving, and that's your main tactical rub in this. That if you want to be exploring, it's better to kind of keep covering each other, moving a unit one at a time, so that you can continue to support your units there with nothing going on. Just to showcase one of those bombs, by the way, boom, there it goes. Anyway, those are the ones you can kind of pay for. But as you can see, I'm quite happy getting on with things it is. Let's add in another unit. Let's pull in some specialists, which are kind of like your snipers. These guys, if I pull them down this way, off they are there. Hopefully they can spot some things at a distance. And of course it uses a fog of war system. More enemies incoming. Let's move those specialists a little bit closer now. And zoom in. Now these enemies explode as well when they die, which is horrid. You've also got special abilities on your hero. Whichever hero you've chosen, they have two abilities shown in the bottom left that allows them to do some really cool stuff as well. Like here, I'm going to use one of the special abilities from this girl. No, too late. Everything's already dead. Let's actually start to go exploring, I think. So we're going to head south. I'm going to move the whole party at once because I'm going to be an idiot like that. Build another turret. In fact, let's look if we can possibly upgrade some of these turrets. 60 cost to do so. Let's pull in a Special Forces squad. That's one of the characters' abilities there. They've just summoned in the top left. There we go. Yep, we can now upgrade that turret to do a bit more damage, so on and so forth. So let's get these guys exploring now. And again, moving them in sort of a bit of a staggered formation. I think the snipers, the specialists, probably aren't too useful right now, so I can actually tap on these and we can change them into any other type of unit from that same formation. So like the cats can turn into the other kinds of cats, the Iron Marines can turn into different types of Iron Marines, so on and so forth. So we're going to go on a little bit of an exploration recce here. I'm happy with these cats doing what they're doing. Oh, hello, we're just going to ignore these guys. Run away, run away, run away before they explode and deal huge amounts of damage. Move her down here as well, avoiding these events. I am actually supposed to be looking for, like, an enemy base, I think, in this particular one. Ah, one of the cats got killed. Shame, poor little kitty. Anyway, it will come back. One of the things about how this game works as well is that units respawn. As long as one of that unit is still alive, the others will spawn back in later. There you are, there's the second one back in. Let's drop these guys down again for a little bit of added punch. As we start to pull this apart, let's change the specialists actually for the Apocrypha. These girls with the bazookas, because everyone loves chicks with bazookas, right? That's kind of a thing. Oh, we've lost a turret. Yeah, that mortar wasn't really a good idea. Let's just build more turrets, I think, and look at possibly hiring another unit. Let's bring one of these Scion units out. We've seen the cats, we've seen the basic humans. Let's bring the super powerful Scions. There is a healing one of these, but I just love this guy, the Dignitary, with this freaking massive cannon. Doesn't get much cooler than that. Okay, we've got some resources we can capture. More units on the resources means faster capture time. That's always a good thing, right? There we go. We've got a new base of operations that we can start to set up things from, spawn in new units as we need them. Your resources are shown in the top left. You can see, oh, hello, no, move back. Don't get hit by those. At this point in time, I can only have 3 units on the battlefield at once. Those 3 units can be any of the types I like, so obviously they can be 3 of just the most expensive unit type and kind of just laugh and get on with that, but there will be times when even the most expensive units aren't necessarily the best unit for the job, and so that's where this, this kind of strategy comes in of who's going to do what. Now I'm going to actually increase up to 4 possible units by capturing that little resource. Let's build some more turrets. This one I'm going to immediately upgrade to a better gun. We'll add a mortar in on this one. I don't have enough of the stuff to now bring in any more units for now. Still, again, top left, you can see 45 going up to 50. There we are. That's the currency you use to build new units. There we go. Let's bring in, I think some more of the cats, actually. Let's go with the bubble cats. I forget what they're actually called. Here we are. We're going to go with those. So these guys are going to start exploring Sphinx O. That's the one. Okay, we're at the edge of the map there, so no, we want to be going the other way. Move units one at a time. Obviously, every unit has different move speeds as well. Special units like that can't be dropped in Fog of War. That's no stress. I'm going to move these guys in one at a time. You can see my poor little cats there are very slow moving. Oh, and I lost my original base. That's not good. I've not been paying much attention here at all. Yeah, we're going to kind of just let that one go for now, and we'll go back and get it in just a second. Oh, nasty. There we are. Base going. That might actually be the key base. I may need to defend that one. So let's go rushing back up as quick as we can. In fact, I'm going to summon my hero directly in. See if she can't do that quickly. I'm actually going to use some of the abilities there as well, just to hopefully take these as quick as possible. Oh, I think that could be mission over because I'm just being completely non-watching this. There we go. Yeah, how terrible was that, right? Cool game, though, and it kind of does showcase how the game itself works. Whoops. But anyway, you may have noticed some currency on that screen as well. You see that the missions now here move. That's the one that's a story mission for me. Got a couple more special missions there and over there. If I go into the hero page, you can see that they do upgrade. There are these bars on the right-hand side that you can put in level ups, essentially, to up their different abilities, like the Super Shell, Every Soldier's Hero, or the Bravo team that you saw me summoning. I can make those stronger and have them last longer, that kind of thing. There is also a tech tree as well. The tech lab, when you complete missions, you get these little points that you put in here that will do all kinds of additional stuff throughout that entire campaign. So there is kind of a reason to do these side missions, because they're going to give you better abilities for the main missions. If everything does end up coming across a little bit too hard, though, you can just change down to casual or up to veteran as you wish. You can kind of modify the game on the fly. So if you start a campaign in normal and things start to get a bit too tough for you, you can drop it down to casual and play for a few rounds there until you feel a bit more confident with your new units, or you get them upgraded a bit more, then back up to normal, or even push into veteran. It's also just worth noting that everything about this game plays super smooth on here. There is just so much going on. Graphically, I have never had any slowdown on this at all. I love the sound effects. The units themselves, when they're talking, I wish I could get proper sounds on screen now, but when you tap on units, the typical RTS stuff, yes sir, and all that kind of is still there, but there are some really funny little jokes, and the heroes especially get some really cool lines. There are also tons of little Easter eggs. There's nothing quite like that first moment you're running through a mission and you see a little guy in a blue suit suddenly teleport himself back up, and you realise, hang on, that was a Star Trek reference. It looked like Spock. There are so many little references to things like the Aliens franchise, to Star Wars, you name it. If it's a science fiction, although I'd argue Star Wars isn't a science fiction, it's a futuristic fantasy. But yeah, there are just so many references all over the place. Even the units themselves, for crying out loud, you can summon in what is totally Godzilla, right? Monarch is completely Godzilla. It's Mechazilla. And again, you've got everything from like your typical like badasses to your battle mechs, you name it, it's all here. And I kind of think that these are a reference to Battletoads. That kind of feels like a Battletoads reference. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But that's Iron Marines for you. Why do I love these games? Because they are quick to pick up and play. They are beautifully well designed. Yeah, okay, there's some monetary options in there that you might be like, do I really want to pay $7.50 for a new hero? No, if you don't want to, you don't have to. That's quite all right. You really don't need it. The main campaign is complete with the original purchase. If you want to then expand that with additional heroes and some crazy new units, you can do so. And again, I do say, if you're interested in this, keep an eye on the original Iron Marines as well. It's a really quirky, fun little game, super cheap to pick up on the Play Store for the most part. I think the Apple Store's had a couple of sales on it recently as well. Well worth just giving a try to see if this is the kind of thing you might enjoy. It's a small purchase. Trust me, you'll probably love this one. This just keeps me going so much. Car journeys, I'm done for hours going through this and just having great fun. Like, you know, going through the story, trying old missions again, going for those Black Ops missions, upping the difficulty, downing the difficulty, and now even collecting all of these new unit cards and stuff that just give you all kinds of information about the units that you're up against. It's all very tongue-in-cheek, don't take it too seriously. It's a lot of fun, and I do strongly recommend it to anyone who enjoys sort of strategy games and science fiction. If you like space, you like strategy, this is just a really fun game to pick up and play. If you've played the Iron Marine games, if you check this one out, let me know in the comment section down below. Would love to know your thoughts and opinions on this. Again, this is a game I would happily make content for if I thought there was an audience for it. I would do a full let's play through the campaign. I would do some of the secret missions and stuff like that, and just do more reviews of which units I think are best in which situations. I think there's a lot to this game, and I've also just noticed that now that I'm recording this in October, there is a jack-o'-lantern and a cute little ghost on the dashboard at the bottom. That's what I talk about when it comes to Easter eggs. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching this one right the way through to the end. Hopefully you give this a try. Let me know what you think about it if you do. Otherwise, happy sailing and see you all next time.